Though there's always been a heated debate surrounding the existence of Haunted Mansion Holiday at Disneyland, there's no denying a lot goes into the transformation every year. Haunted Mansion Holiday is the result of a scrap Nightmare Before Christmas ride. The idea was to ride around in a coffin sleigh, and one of the conceptual works included being thrown down the chute to Oogie's lair. When it first arrived on October 3rd, 2001, guests could see just how dramatic the changes were before they even entered the mansion. And from then on, every year, Imagineers sought to update the experience to make it better and better. One of the ways they've done this is by constructing a gingerbread house for the ballroom scene, and every year they become more and more elaborate. Combined with the gingerbread smell pumped into the room, these houses have become a staple for park guests during the holiday season at Disneyland. Let's take a journey back to 2001 and look at every version of the Haunted Mansion Holiday's gingerbread houses. And to do so, we want to welcome our friends from Provost Park Pass.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris.
And I'm Amanda.
And we are Provost Park Pass.
We have been in the Haunted Mansion searching for the top 5 scariest ghosts.
And while we're there, we came across a pranky poltergeist who told us all about the history of the gingerbread houses in the Haunted Mansion.
Let's get started. We're taking you back to the year 2001.
2001. This house depicted the Haunted Mansion itself as a hungry monster. A toothy mouth and long arms dominated this design. Nestled together in the yard were tombstones and ghosts erupting from the ground. It even had an Oogie Boogie lookalike coming out of the graveyard.
2002. Instead of a toothy monster, the Gingerbread Haunted Mansion this year was made out of stacks of presents. 3 jack-o'-lanterns topped the structure, just like in the real mansion.
2003. This was a really abstract house, which was based off one of the final scenes of Nightmare Before Christmas. We could see a huge Oogie Boogie spinning around. He stood balancing some dice in one of his feet, a cup of treats in one of his hands, and a small version of the mansion in the other. But look out! As he spun, a string on his leg got caught and it unwound, exposing his buggy innards. Ew.
2004. In 2004, Zero had his time in the spotlight with his own gingerbread doghouse. He had a doggy bowl filled with ghost dog biscuits, bones, and kitty cat pie, and used to appear floating around his doghouse looking for his next delicious treat.
2005, Christmas Wreath on the Loose. This pulled inspiration from when Jack gave a monstrous wreath to children for Christmas, and it unfurled its arms to cause chaos. The Haunted Mansion was recreated with gingerbread, but this time, the huge man-eating Christmas wreath was seen in the front, covering the whole mansion, holding multiple utensils and waving them around. I mean, maybe somebody should feed them.
2006. This year was when the Haunted Mansion Holiday Imagineers started incorporating more animation into their gingerbread houses. This house showed all manner of creatures trying to break out of the mansion. There were giant zombie hands crashing through the roof as they went. Snakes and tentacles broke apart the building or slithered between windows. The movement in this house was pretty impressive.
2007, it's a Jack in the Box. Get it? Get it? This gingerbread house showed Jack and 2 pumpkins coming out of the top of the mansion as a crank on the side was spinning and moving. A few gingerbread zombies below looked up in awe.
2008. Normally, coffins wouldn't be allowed at the dinner table, but an exception was made in 2008. A group of gingerbread skeletons had a celebration of life below a massive coffin. When the coffin's lid opened, you could see a skeleton gingerbread man that had been sliced in half. This was super creepy and elaborate.
2009, it's a ride within a ride. This gingerbread house was much more child-friendly than the previous year and depicted a carousel decorated with bats, skulls, spiderwebs, and pumpkins. Zero appeared as one of the animals adorned with a little purple saddle, and the rest of the animals were bone deers.
2010. This one took a more literal approach as a dramatized version of the Haunted Mansion's holiday exterior. Curled trees and pumpkins on pedestals were scattered around the lawn, and the signature clock spun around. Jack, in his Sandy Claus outfit, loomed over the mansion with outstretched fingers.
2011, another toothy mansion, but this time its mouth was split across the middle of the facade. This house was super impressive and used to open and close its mouth. As its mouth opened, a striped tongue inside waggled around wildly. Despite its menacing appearance, the outer fence around the property was made of smiling, traditional gingerbread men.
2012. This gingerbread house took a turn away from a version of the Haunted Mansion to a version of Jack Skellington's house in Halloween Town.
Even a gingerbread house can be scary. So we always kind of keep it a house. This is Jack's house from Halloween Town, and how Jack's house would look as if it was covered in snow.
Lit jack-o'-lanterns lined the stairs leading up to Jack's front door, and Zero flew around the very top of the house's tower. This house took advantage of the Pepper's Ghost illusion in the ballroom to add the illusion of a train riding around the table. The Terror Train included an engine, a coal car, a flatbed car carrying a giant cupcake, and a caboose. The entire structure was built around steel beams to add support for the upwards of 600 pounds of gingerbread used.
2013. 2013's gingerbread house was an advent calendar mausoleum with 13 doors, ending in a Jack Skellington face for the final day. Every Friday, a door would be opened on the mausoleum, revealing a Jack cookie inside. The house was the largest gingerbread house the Imagineers had built at that time at 8 feet wide and 13 feet tall. 13 feet.
2014. This house may not have been as big as the one from the previous year, but it made up for that in creativity. 2014's was a depiction of the Haunted Mansion as an Iron Maiden. The house had a zombie gingerbread man inside. The doors opened and closed, showing the spikes, which were made out of sharpened candy canes. The zombie would shake back and forth at his impending doom.
2015. A group of gingerbread zombies were put to work this year. They were building a haunted mansion made out of cards, and guests got to witness the construction of the House of Cards. It doesn't look very structurally sound. Maybe that's why it only lasted 1 year.
2016. In 2016, the gingerbread mansion is made out of a different material, but it's still under construction. This gingerbread house referenced two characters, one from Nightmare Before Christmas and the other from the Haunted Mansion. We could see that the mansion was still being sewn together with pieces of fabric that referenced Sally, who incidentally appeared at the ride for the first time in 2016.
For 2016, our new touch in the graveyard is Jack's girlfriend, Sally. As guests passed through the graveyard, they passed by Jack Skellington in his Santa Claus outfit, and then they move on to see Sally resting on a tombstone, kicking her leg up, and she's just looking right past the gate, trying to catch a glimpse of her man, Jack.
But who was sewing the mansion together? Well, that would be the bricklayer, one of the ghosts from the Haunted Mansion who appears at the end of the cemetery.
2017. Oogie Boogie took over the gingerbread haunted mansion this year, adding an assortment of creepy crawlies to the facade and causing quite a fright to the gingerbread skeletons below. As the spiders on the front of the mansion spun, Oogie lifted a fork to its mouth to munch on a caterpillar.
2018. This time the mansion was in true peril. A giant gingerbread spider had descended from the ceiling to rip the house off its base to eat it.
So this year for the 2018 Haunted Mansion Holiday Gingerbread House, we wanted to do it a little different and get the gingerbread house off the table. Using my arachnophobia, we made a giant gingerbread spider that is coming down from the rafters and going to basically devour the house on the table.
This gingerbread mansion had a lot of little details. Every shingle was shaped like a coffin, and a hidden Mickey was added on one of them.
2019. This one is particularly special since it's in honor of the Haunted Mansion's 50th anniversary. That being said, the only inspiration it really takes from Nightmare Before Christmas is its crooked structure. A large wreath with the number 50 hangs above the entrance of the mansion, and familiar spooks can be seen fading in and out of view. I'm Chris.
And I'm Amanda.
And we are Provost Park Pass, and our channel is dedicated to revealing all the secrets of Disneyland.
And we love Fastpass facts.
Except for that one time they beat us at the Disney Decathlon.
Don't worry, Chris. We are doing a rematch with Fastpass facts that you can watch on our channel November 13th.
So make sure you root for Provost Park Pass.
Ignore him. Subscribe to both of our channels for amazing Disney content.
We love you, Fastpass Facts.
Bye-bye.